our meeting to order. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular board meeting of the County Board of Commissioners. This meeting is being recorded and the minutes are being taken. It is a public meeting. We will start with awards and recognition.
I have one, Chairman Murdoch forwarded to us from Sheriff Rowan. Dear Sheriff Rowan, I am pleased to inform you that Deputy Sheriff Jared Munsterman is the recipient of the Victor G. Umatilla Outstanding Student Award for Basic Corrections Class BCL 047. The Victor G. Umatilla Outstanding Student Award is presented in each basic training class to the student who displays exceptional professionalism and ethics, as well as a positive attitude throughout basic training. The student selected is evaluated on demonstrated leadership, teamwork, willingness, and ability to shoulder responsibility, academic standing, performance and survival skills, and overall health and fitness. This is the highest honor that a student can receive from the Department of Public Safety Standards and Trainings, DPSST. Deputy Sheriff Munsterman was selected by DPSST staff, instructors, and fellow students as the most outstanding student overall. Our compliments on the award recipient's achievement and wish to continue success in their public safety career. Sincerely, H. Hassan, Training Division Director, Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. I would like to add, I've actually witnessed the presentation of this award in Salem, and it is quite an honor, not just for him, but for Umatilla County and the Sheriff's Department. That is quite an award.
Good. I know Commissioner Schaefer commented on that because he went through the same kind of thing.
I didn't receive that award.
No, I know that, no, but I saw your picture on the front page of the Valley Herald. I should point that out under recognition as a newly minted member of the Western McEwen Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
So, made the front page of the Valley Herald, so.
Yeah.
All right, acknowledgement of minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. Chairman, approval of the minutes of October 20th, 2021.
Second.
All fair, say aye.
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 All right, do you have any additions to the agenda?
I did not.
All right. Is there anybody who wishes to speak to the board on a topic other than something that's on the agenda? Okay, I am, in deference to several of our guests, who probably don't want to sit through the other 13 items, going to call on us to move to item number 14, which is the agreement with the city of Pendleton. Okay. If I can find it.
I couldn't find it earlier.
There is no pink sheet, there's no document.
Oh, okay.
It was done after. Anyway.
All right. Then I'll verbally state that our purpose under item 14 is the development of a cooperative arrangement between the county and the city of Pendleton relative to the creation of a revolving fund for the purpose of economic development. Initially, it would be used to develop property near the red line, for lack of a better term.
Why don't you take your mask off so we can hear you?
Okay. All right. Anyway, it is a revolving fund. Last night I visited with the Pendleton City Council about this particular thing. I indicated the background that it comes from funds that are accrued in the general fund on the basis of economic development, and that we feel from time to time we need to spread those around the county. So this would be a $2 million revolving fund, but specifically to be used only for new projects. It cannot be used for existing needs or projects. So our purpose today is to approve the mutual agreement between the city and the county.
So is this like a one-time infusion to the city?
At this point, yes.
With that, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion of approval.
I'll second it with comments.
Okay,
I think it's a great project, very deserving. I had this discussion earlier today. Is in the media, there's a lot of emphasis on additional funds this spring, and that the agreement addresses those. And I haven't seen the agreement. I wish that, and I know that Doug's gone now. But I, at this point, guys, I can't support it without the agreement. I just, I gotta know what's in it. But I do support the project, without a doubt.
I'm a little confused. We have a motion and a second to move forward.
As a second, I would move to table this to the next meeting, but if you guys want to move forward, I truly think there are 2 votes in favor, but I can't move forward until I see the agreement.
Well, the next meeting, Doug's still gonna be gone.
I would not second tabling it. I would vote to move forward.
As a second, I have no problem with that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. All right, we'll move forward. That agreement must be in his office.
I just haven't seen it. And nothing against the project at all, guys. I am very supportive of it.
Well, we all 3 have to sign it. The agreement, nothing will happen to the agreement until all 3 of us sign it, so there we are.
So for the record, I'm John Turner, Mayor of Pendleton, and these funds will go towards supporting infrastructure to allow us to build a large housing tract in town. Housing is one of the city's top 4 goals. A recent survey of our 12 largest employers in the city reveals that we've got more than 500 jobs standing open. And a good portion of that is because of a lack of affordable, decent housing. So this is a major project that we've been working on for several years, and we certainly appreciate your support and your generosity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I agree with you, Mr.
Rob, you
Mayor.
have nothing to say.
You can yell at me if you want.
My name is Rob Corbett, and I'm the city manager for the city of Pendleton. Dan, I completely respect the position that you've taken on that, and I would just echo the mayor's comments on the importance of this project for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am very
That's an exciting
supportive.
We have
prospect.
lost opportunities to have businesses come into town because of lack of housing, so.
There are, by last count, there's 500 empty jobs in the community. There are a growing number of jobs at the airport. Consistently in all of our conversations, the comment is we need housing. And so there's a direct link between our economic future and our ability to be able to provide housing. So thank you.
100%.
Thanks, John.
And thank you for the maps.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the maps that you brought.
Come back.
Maps.
Oh,
Mayor Turner brought us maps. Okay.
They weren't donuts.
All right, we'll go back to item number 1, which is elections payable. Mr. Lanai.
Good morning, Commissioners. Deanne Lanai, Director of Administrative Services. Before you, there's actually 2 payables for elections. The first one is for the maintenance with the voter registration system with the state. It's a required maintenance that we pay every year. It's the same amount. I will preface this with a caveat that the state is in the works of purchasing a new system. So next year, this amount may change, or maybe the year after. But right now, it's the same as it always has been, $7,776. It's in the budget. It's over $5,000, so it needs approval from the board.
I would move for approval to approve payable to the Secretary of State in the amount of $7,776 for OCVR maintenance.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item number 2, election payable envelopes.
So the second one is, Commissioners, is the payable for our secrecy sleeves. Inside of your ballot, you have that little sleeve that your ballot envelope that you stick your voted ballot in. So we are purchasing those, and it's over 5,000. It's $5,245.80. So it needs board approval.
Mr. Chair, with approval.
Second, with one quick comment. Dan, after taking 2 tours of the elections area in the last 2 weeks, first of all, for the outside people that came in and took a tour, nothing but incredible complimentary comments and a lot more confidence in the security, which I already had. That was not an issue to me. Second was the storage of the envelopes and some of those things. Is there a plan, I guess, for a more formal storage for elections, for some of this administrative stuff? Not the secure stuff, but the envelopes and that type of stuff? Or is it, we'll figure it out as we go, kind of? Either way, I just was curious.
I need to first understand your question. When you say the envelopes, are you saying the returned envelopes that have the signatures on them, or the envelopes that we prepare to send out to people for the election?
Raw envelopes as they come in and they get stored until election time.
Well, most of those envelopes are stored in a secure facility in Bend. We pay to have those automatically machine inserted in Bend, so they're printed, the ballots are printed in Bend, and then they're moved over to the next facility next door and then stuffed into the envelopes for us and then shipped off to the Portland post office to get the fastest delivery. And the reason why we do that is there's human error when people hand stuff them. We used to have errors every election, and now we've gone down to, we have not had an error in misstuffing. I shouldn't say stuff, that doesn't sound bad, but inserting into the envelope, the ballot. And
okay.
So all those are stored over there, but we have to keep a few here for what we call our supplementals. So when people change their addresses and different things like that, we have a small stockpile of envelopes here. And then like this election that we had at Pilot Rock, where there's only 1,500 voters, it wasn't worth us to pay to have the company insert all of those. So we only have a small portion here just for those voters, mainly that are changing their address after the ballot has been sent out or didn't receive a ballot for some reason. But the majority are stored in a secure facility in Bend with most of the other ballots, envelopes for all the other counties.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thanks for asking, Commissioner.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. The next item on the agenda are bids for the boiler at Guardian Care Center. We have 2 bids, one from Apollo Heating and Air for $35,575. We have one from HMS Commercial Services for $59,779. Recommendation from staff is that we award it to the low bidder. That would be Apollo Heating and Air at $35,575.
I would move to award the contract for replacement of the boiler at the Guardian Care Center building to Apollo Heating and Air for $35,575.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Mrs. Beck, are you on the phone or on the call?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Where to you?
Good morning. My name is Kim Beck. I am the Director of Human Services, I think is what what HR Director said my new title is. I'm here to respectfully request approval to continue on with an employee that has that no longer is working full time. We would request that she be allowed to work no more than 10 hours a week for the remainder of the year. And the reason we're making this request is she actually has been doing our licensing and certification for our adult foster homes and children's foster homes. And she's the only person in our office who has knowledge and is able to take care of our software program with the state. She has been training our new licensor, but we still need a little bit of time.
Mr. Chair, at the risk of losing the institutional knowledge and letting it be passed on to others in the office, I would move approval of this request.
Second quick comment, is this position going to be paid at the same as her current, or is there a different setup for that?
It will be paid at the same hourly rate that her salary would have equated to.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the next 4 items are related to emergency management. Who's going to speak to those?
Tom's on the phone.
Hi, Commissioners. Tom Roberts, Emergency Manager for the county. I hope you can hear me okay.
We can.
Wonderful. So, item number 5 on the agenda is related to the emergency management or EOC conferencing system. This is a system that we determined there was a. Let me back up just a second here and give you a little bit of background. Commissioner Schaefer and Commissioner Elfring, if you recall back during the floods, when we would have our briefings in the Emergency Operations Center and out of the media room, we were all huddled around a little turtle phone, and it was very difficult for people to hear what was going on. It was even more difficult for us to be able to speak because we were screaming from across the room. And so I worked very closely with Dan Lanai's staff in IT, very specifically Riley, and said, hey, we got to fix this. How do we go about doing this? So they were in conversations with Unitech, and Unitech was, during COVID, working on trying to find a location to beta test a whole room option for just such a thing. Ultimately, they chose the Emergency Operations Center. We spent about 6 months using this system in that room, and then moved it over to the media room, which is much larger, to see if that would work in there. And it's been very successful over the last year. We think that this is a system that is going to enhance our capabilities when we activate, as well as for training events and community involvement events, things along those lines out of the media room. So the State Homeland Security Grant Program out of Oregon Emergency Management this year changed their methodology, and instead of all of their projects being awarded to counties competitively, they took a portion of the total award that the state was getting from FEMA and allocated out to the counties on a per capita basis. So our total allotment amount for State Homeland Security this year was $47,418. Of that, we were talking with EOTech, determined that this project would probably fall in about the $20,000 range, and so we allocated $20,000 of that towards this as project number 1. The bid came in at $18,895 to complete the installation beyond what we currently have in their beta testing, as well as to make it a permanent fixture. And so what we're asking for the board to do today is authorize us the purchasing and complete installation of that whole room teleconferencing and VTC system from EOTech. Again, this is 100% grant funded through the State Homeland Security Grant Program.
Quick question. You said through EOTech. Is this through Unitech?
You said you.
Yeah, I apologize. Unitech. I had it right in front of me, and there's too many techs in the world today.
Gotcha. I would move for approval of the authorization to complete installation of the whole room teleconferencing and VTC system from Unitech not to exceed $18,895.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next.
Okay, so Commissioners, this is Tom again. Item number 6 is a 6 and 7 both are actually extension requests. The Board of Commissioners had previously approved authorization in a previous grant cycle for us to proceed with the hazardous materials emergency performance grant awards from the previous fiscal years, and because of COVID, we were not able to complete those projects. So both of these have been granted extensions by the State Fire Marshal's Office. Item 6 being for a study of hazardous materials and commodities that are traveling up and down the 84 and major thoroughfares of Umatilla County, so that we can determine what kind of substances we are looking at a high probability of having an incident with, and being able to pre-plan for some of that. And then item number 7 is also extended. That's up to $10,000 to complete 2 exercises of tabletop nature. So
Back to the first one, Tom. I'm assuming that this probably won't include the railroad because they already do their own, or is that just going to be part of the study received from the railroad? Or, I mean, the railroad's probably the major hazardous waste transporter in the county.
it is, but as you said, they do their own commodity flows, and we have limited access, but we do have access to that information, and so this will be primarily interstate travel.
Commercial truck traffic.
Yes.
I move to approve RFP for contract to conduct a commodity flow study to be completed before September 2nd, 2022, not to exceed $26,040. How much of the soft match is you? Oh, I'm sorry.
I believe the soft match, if we were going to if we were awarded at the full amount, would be around $6,500. However, that's going to be very easily matched, I believe, with wage matches and things of those sorts.
So did your motion include the match?
Yeah.
Okay, second.
We're only voting on number 6.
Right.
Correct.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now number 7.
And then, Commissioners, this is Tom again. I would like to also point out number 7. It's my intent to put this out for RFP, but I think we're going to split it into 2 separate contracts, one for each exercise if that's doable, but it would still not exceed the full $10,000 amount for both of them, so it'd be $5,000 per, and that gives us a little bit more leeway, I believe, as far as contracting with if we have 2 competitors come in, but maybe one has an ability where another don't or something like that. It gives us a little bit more opportunity to lean on some hybrid options or things along those lines. So we want to explore that a little bit.
Do you anticipate having this done in 2022? It's only 5 months, 6 months from now. Probably no hesitation to get this finished.
Yeah, we are going to have a very fast turnaround on this particular one, just because of the funding stream requirements at the state level. They're going to have to end this quickly so that they can turn around then and request for their reimbursements from the federal level. So I believe it's doable, very easily doable. It's just going to be a very fast turnaround for us. Yeah,
I would definitely request that you contact Robert and the commissioners if this is not going to be completed by June, by the end of May in 2022.
Absolutely, we can do that.
I move for approval of RFP for contract to conduct 2 tabletop exercises to be completed before the end of this fiscal year for a not to exceed of $10,000 with a soft match of $2,550.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And item number 8.
Okay, Commissioners, again, Tom Roberts. So item number 8 goes back to State Homeland Security grant and that allocation that I told you about of $47,418 The first 20,000 was going towards that whole room system. This next part, initially when we were planning all this, it looked we were going to be able to fit within that 47,418 budget. Because of the current state of our economy, the costs of the machines have rose just a little bit, so we are a little over budget at this moment. However, I will let you know, though, that the state has agreed, though, to allow us to apply any unused funds from the other project to reallocate towards this. So we will have some reimbursement potential here. But essentially, we're looking at the purchase of 2 snow machines. They come in at $31,448. The balance remaining that would cost the county to be $4,030, with some of that being reimbursed from that other project. Hope the amount to be determined, but right now we're looking at about $1,100 is what we're anticipating. This basically is phase 2 of the project that we did a few years back under the competitive side of State Homeland Security, where we purchased the Polaris utility vehicle for off-road applications during snow. There was a lesson learned from the 2012 bus accident where we didn't have the capability of getting down into the ravine. And one of the gaps we've determined since we got the Polaris was, while it's a fantastic machine, it is a larger machine still, and sometimes we need to be a little bit more agile and get into some places that it can't. In addition, the need to upgrade some of our equipment for patrol purposes with the snow patrol program presented an opportunity for some collaborative options here. And so we thought this would be a great fit for this allocation, to be able to collaborate between emergency management and the snow program for the procurement of a couple machines.
So will this be able to be used on the snow patrol program? I see Deputy Hayes is here. Maybe he could speak to that.
Morning, Commissioners. Jim Littlefield here, Under Sheriff for Umatilla County. Yeah, the machines will replace some old machines that we currently have that are not meeting our expectations for getting to people who may be injured. We had a couple cases last season where we had some significant injuries of people who were recreating, and our guys were struggling to get to the folks that needed the help. So these will help in that program. In addition to the grant funds Tom is talking about, we also receive a grant from the Oregon Snowmobile Association every year for $10,000. So the budget will support this expenditure on our end. We wouldn't have the opportunity to get these machines without Tom applying for these grants. And so I want to thank him for supporting the Sheriff's Office functions in this program, and as well as the others.
Thank you. Sorry about that, Under Sheriff. I didn't realize you were on the line. I just saw Deputy Hayes in the room and called on him.
Senior Marine Deputy Rowan Hayes, Umatilla County. As Under Sheriff Littlefield expressed, our current machines are really at the critical point of not being able to meet our capabilities. We've had over 1,300 contacts this last snow season. Several of them were critical and injury events, and we're just concerned of the reliability issue. We're at that pivot point where the machines that we have are just, they're timed out. They're good machines. We spent time and treasure keeping them viable, but the reliability curve is falling off, and so it's not enough for us to get there. We have to get there and back, and the and back part is the concern. So
Thank you.
it's time to spend money.
Did I hear Under Sheriff Littlefield say they have a source for the difference?
Yeah, I was going to include that in the motion.
Okay.
I would move for approval of the expenditure of, I'm sorry.
Nope.
I would move for the approval of the expenditure of $31,448 using the $27,418 from the emergency management grant, with any shortage to be funded through the snowmobile grant fund, so it won't affect the general fund at all.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, sirs.
Okay, I see our CFO here. Are you going to speak to the vehicle purchases?
Sure can. Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Paul, CFO, Umatilla County. In considering the county fleet, we had an opportunity to order a number of vehicles to continue replacing our dying fleet and reduce the size of that fleet. The plan is to buy a number of vehicles and sell more than we buy, and also to turn vehicles around more quickly in this time where used vehicles have a very high resale value. That's our plan.
I'm particularly fond of the getting rid of more vehicles than we acquired piece of this. I think that's my favorite part.
Do we have any figures in that regard?
The ones that we're getting rid of, I think we're still making a list of which ones we're gonna get rid of.
Right. We haven't established exact vehicles to replace, but we're going to need to work with departments to alter their fleet plans to do so.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'd move approval of the purchase of vehicles and signed documents with Enterprise Fleet Management.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. And I'll just sign it. Okay, item number 11, Harris Park Bridge.
Tom's not here today, and so if you don't mind, I will handle that.
Okay.
This is a request for approval for the replacement of the bridge entering Harris Park. As you guys know even more well aware of than I am, there is a temporary bridge there that is servicing the park for the last summer and a half. This comes in partially right now as a FEMA grant. They went out for an RFP, two bidders, and the request is to award the bid to True North Steel Bridge and get it ordered and moving because of supply chain issues. But it does look like we'll be able to get it this spring. So I would move for approval to award contract for modular bridge to True North Steel Bridge in the amount of $239,361.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Make sure I accept the right bid. North Steel,
That
okay.
happened the first meeting I was here.
Okay, we did.
You have to redo it.
Collective bargaining agreement.
No, we have one more public works.
Bridge replacement.
Another bridge replacement.
Oh, yes, all
This
right.
is the Matco for the Nolan Bridge. Just a little bit of background on this is the funding source for this has not been identified yet, although there is several very high confidence potential ways to fund this. And the problem is, much like the Harris Park Bridge, if we don't get even RFPs on the street, we're going to be looking at even a substantially longer period than just the permitting process to get that bridge replaced. So we are kind of in a unique situation where I'm asking, or we are asking, the authorization to go out for an RFP so that we can have hard numbers for that bridge and actually get a slot in time for the production of that bridge so that we will be able to replace it at the most earliest time that permitting allows us. That's my request. Any questions?
So, and I know the answer to this, but in order to hopefully slow the questions coming in the future, where does this fall in line with the Thorn Hollow Bridge?
Thorn Hollow Bridge, again, I actually spent quite a bit of time yesterday with Robert, FEMA, and others. We actually missed the ability to demolish the Thorn Hollow Bridge during the fish window this year. With a little bit of discussion with FEMA yesterday, they may allow us to do it this winter. under an emergency clause, which we've been asking for forever, and then all of a sudden, when you talk life, limb, and property, it becomes a little more expeditious. But the bottom line is we were delayed this year because of permitting process, some of the federal regulations because of FEMA's involvement, but also the tribe has a very thorough review of permits, and again, they take some time for their reviews. We're actually in a 90-day period right now on a 401 permit to be reviewed by the tribes that we thought would be done by now. So there are a couple of different complications to answer your question. And if anybody calls you, you can tell them that our frustration level is just as high as theirs. And we are on the phone every day.
So did you make a motion?
I didn't, I just asked for questions.
Okay.
I move for the authorization, the issuance of a request for proposal for the prefabricated modular steel vehicular bridge for Matt Hope, or commonly known as Nolan Bridge.
Second. Oh, wait, we got a question. Rob?
Just a point of clarification, do we have specifications on what that bridge needs to be when we're done?
Great question, Robert. The answer is we're close. Anderson Perry is actually in the process of finalizing those designs. And they've actually asked Tom and I for a priority on the bridges that we have an issue right now. We just had another one come that's been shut down that we'll be looking at too. But the answer to Anderson Perry was yes, all of them are the priority. If they need to stick another pencil on the drawings or another somebody on a calculator, it's time to do it. So.
Okay, so this is only a request for proposals, we're not
Yes.
committing.
We're not committing anything, we're asking for the permission to go out for a, to get bids on this bridge.
Well, I appreciate the evidence of movement because primarily based upon a fatality that I think probably was unnecessary, had that bridge been in place, so.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Collective bargaining agreement? I don't see Jennifer.
I don't see that.
You're wrong.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Paul, CFO. I was part of the team that bargained with the deputy district attorneys through ASME. We came to an agreement for the next 3 years for their collective bargaining agreement. The DDAs have ratified, and it's before you for your ratification.
Mr. Chair, I move that we ratify and sign the CBA with ASME Local Union 3742-4 through June 30th of 2024.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Yeah?
Aye. Okay. There are 3 places on here where you need to sign your agreement. Okay. All right. Columbia Rail Project.
This project was brought to us by Columbia Rail out of Walla Walla, but the projects themselves are in Milton Freewater on the Spofford Grain Terminal and the Smith Frozen Food or the Garrett Complex train switch yards. Those are all served by a private rail under lease to Union Pacific Railroad. The request is to be placed in line with the Connect Oregon grants that are going out. There was a late call for requests to fund through Connect Oregon. Generally, that request wouldn't have came out until next spring, but there was monies left over, so there is a request out. This this is for basically 2,500 feet of rail and two switches to serve both the grain and the fruit markets and vegetable markets coming out of the Milton Free Water area. And then it also lines up to be able to extend to the far side of the Garrett complex. So very needed for safety and economic development. It's a letter that the commissioners put together, and we're asking to ratify that. So I would move to ratify the support letter and the grant application to Columbia Rail.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any reports from commissioners?
No, I would, next week, we will be at the annual AOC conference where Commissioner Murdoch will be inducted as the president of the Association of Oregon Counties. So, looking forward to that.
You?
I'd like to take a moment, if I could, just tomorrow's November 11th, and I would like to thank our veterans.
Here, here.
What the sacrifices have been by our veterans from Umatilla County are immeasurable. There isn't a community in Umatilla County, whether incorporated or not, that doesn't have a memorial of some type to our veterans, and that's a lot of pride. It gives me a lot of pride to sit in this chair and know that those memorials are out there, and the respect that our veterans get in Umatilla County. It's not seen all the way across the country, but it is an area of high pride from me personally to see that. And so I would like to wish all veterans, not just tomorrow on Veterans Day, but every day of the year, a great day, and for them to remember what they've done and the respect and honor they have received from their countrymen.
I would accept a motion recognizing our support of Veterans Day on November 11th and thanking all veterans for their service.
So moved.
Very much good motion.
Will you second it?
I second it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll third it and fourth it, whatever you need.
Good. Thank
I'm
you.
all over it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anything else? We're adjourned.